Ladies and gentlemen, Mittens Romney wrote a hilarious article in The Atlantic. Of course, it was about how horrible Trump is and how democracy, how horrible Trump is and how Trump is undermining our democracy. The same exact thing you've heard from CNN, MSNBC, The Washington Post, The New York Times, The Atlantic, Mother Jones, The Nation, Vanity Fair, Esquire, Rolling Stone, BuzzFeed, let's see, Time Magazine, New Yorker, New York Magazine, all of Hollywood. You hear it at late night, Jimmy Kimmel, Stephen Colbert. You hear it during the Oscars. You hear it during the Emmys. Corporations are now trying to regurgitate the same nonsense. If they don't have every single possible advantage, every element of life has been infused by this twisted, warped, absurd sense of morality. Trump is bad because his image is bad, because media and all the smart people and the smartest people and the adults in the room don't like him. Okay? And Joe Biden is a good man. So here's a quote from The Atlantic. I mean, if you just judge Trump on his accomplishments and just judge Biden on his accomplishments, there's no doubt Trump is a better president and a better human being. You can look at Mashed Potato Brains Joe, 94 crime bill, voting alongside Bush, Cheney, and Rumsfeld, being accused literally by a woman of what Trump was talking about, joking about, I don't know why, but on a hot mic. Literally being accused of that specific heinous, crime. And Democrats are like, oh, yeah, no, you'll go to prison if you lie. Can you imagine the way they treated Kavanaugh's accuser and the way they treated Joe's accuser? Look at the difference. I mean, you're talking about the biggest hypocrites, the most disingenuous, duplicitous people on the planet. That's why 70+ million Americans will always vote for Trump. Always, no matter what he says. Because look at who he's going up against, the greatest hypocrites of all time. But anyway, this is Mittens Romney, Pierre Delecto, on Twitter. Or I'm joking, well, he was for a second. The Atlantic. President Joe Biden is a genuinely good man. Really? He's a good man, huh? Okay. You haven't asked his accuser or accusers that. Also, he is basically a political... Wherever the political winds take him, he'll go. That's why he voted alongside Bush, Cheney, and Rumsfeld. That's why he wrote the crime bill. And you have Trump with the First Step Act. Trump with the Doha Agreement that Biden completely botched. It's Trump that reversed U.S. foreign policy. It's Biden and other Democrats, Kerry Clinton, that helped implement miserably failed foreign policy, counterinsurgency conflicts, 20 years of endless military conflicts, interventions, regime changes. And by the way, God bless you. God bless the veterans of this country. If you're watching, God bless you and your families. Happy 4th of July. And have a safe and wonderful 4th of July. But this is a quote from The Atlantic. President Joe Biden is a genuinely good man. Really, Mittens? What makes him good? I want to know. I want to know what makes him good and not just a career politician who has actually done more harm for the country in the long term than Trump ever did. Trump's personality didn't harm the country, okay? His tweets did not harm the country. We had record low unemployment, hundreds of thousands of new manufacturing jobs. Inflation was 2%. GDP growth was wonderful. We had real wages up. We had such a strong economy we could implement tariffs as a short-term tactic against China. And oh my God, the Democrats and people like Romney couldn't stand it. And so when people say, well, Trump did things a normal Republican wouldn't do. Yes, that's why everyone liked him. That's why he has such support. Like, imagine you have half the electorate voting for you, but you have over 90+% negative media coverage. Trump is running a 4.540 with a 100-pound backpack. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, hit subscribe to this channel. Hit subscribe to the Nuclear Confrontation channel. I have a segment there right before this one. Very important segment. And the oil prices 150, Bitcoin 10K recession channel. Unfortunately, that's going to take place. Oil prices will hit $150 per barrel. Bitcoin will go ahead and Bitcoin will get to 10,000 or lower, unfortunately. We're in a recession right now. And also be here tonight for the live stream at around 8:39 p.m. Pacific. Be here for the live stream tonight. But ladies and gentlemen, let's read this. President Joe Biden is a genuinely good man, but this is hilarious. He has yet been unable to break through our national malady of denial, deceit, and distrust. What? Our national malady? It's because of people like Mitt Romney who write in The Atlantic, a newsletter for the Democratic Party, and who ignore, did Mitt Romney condemn $1 to $2 billion in property damage that summer? And I agree with the cause. But you can't tell me that if Trump supporters were linked to $1 to $2 billion in property damage, 19 lives lost according to Wikipedia, and 14,000 arrests, you can't tell me all of media, every Democratic activist would say, oh my God, look at this. Democrats, or I agree with why people demonstrated, but I don't agree with a CNN journalist in front of a building set ablaze saying, oh, it's fiery but mostly peaceful. I mean, everyone sees the duplicity. Everyone sees the deceit. That's why Trump will always get half the electorate. In addition to the good things that he's done, Trump has done more good for the country, just in terms of the economy. Nobody can make a rational argument saying this economy under Joe Biden is better than Trump's economy. And don't bring up the last year of his presidency like a petulant imbecile if you're this Democratic activist or strategist, because it was people like Andrew Cuomo who gleefully tanked their economies and got Emmys. And so you have this amnesia. It's only 2 years ago. You know what you did. You tanked the economy because experts told you to do so. Trump wanted to open it up really quickly. People, Washington Post, New York Times, too soon. Experts say it's too soon. And now you have record highs in inflation, commodity prices soaring. That's what happens. When you tank the economy, you obliterate supply and demand projections, demand plummets, then you open up the economy like a light switch, demand skyrockets, and you have prices at all-time highs. And that will be one of the reasons we have oil hitting $150 per barrel. It will be directly the fault of experts and bureaucrats and Democrats who tanked the economy 2 years ago, of course, to save you. But they're still focused on the same thing, so why did they even do that? But anyway, our national malady of denial, deceit, and distrust is the fault of people like Jimmy Kimmel or Stephen Colbert or social media algorithms or people who run publications like the New York Times, the Washington Post, CNN, MSNBC. When you have the entire American media leveled against one man and half the electorate votes for that man, there's a problem. You're fracturing society into different tribalistic, factions. When you have a media that is sided with the Democratic Party at the expense of truth, they lie by omission. They complained that Trump was installed by the Kremlin for 4 years, and then they act in horror as Trump doesn't accept results. Well, in their own way, they didn't accept results. They complained forever. They had a Mueller probe. We have evidence that he was working with another country. No, that never happened. Trump was telling the truth. Compared to media, he was telling the truth every single day regarding that and a whole bunch of other things. Where's the running tally of Joe Biden's lies with the Washington Post? About inflation, about the economy, about foreign policy, about everything. You'd have, and think of it, they can't find, CNN has a tally of Trump's greatest lies. It's nothing close to top secret intelligence on private servers for convenience. That's a lie. It's not for convenience. Okay? Or inflation is temporary. That's a lie. They knew it wasn't temporary. Or either that or they're stupid, but here, which could be both. A return of Donald Trump would feed the problem, probably rendering it incurable. Congress is what? A return of Donald Trump would save the economy. Okay, our elected officials put a finger in the wind more frequently than they show backbone against it. Yes, the Republican who's writing in The Atlantic showing backbone. Thank you. Too often, Washington demonstrates the maxim that for evil to thrive only requires good men to do nothing. You're writing in The Atlantic, Mittens. I hope for a president who could rise above the din to unite us behind the truth. If Mitt Romney and Paul Ryan ran again, they would get less than 60 million votes. Okay? And they would have the same media coverage that Trump got. Don't think, if you're an ever-Trump Republican, that if you just had a good Republican, everything would be different. Democrats and media will treat everyone like Donald Trump. They only were able to sensationalize and obsess over Trump because Trump doesn't care about what they think. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe to this channel right now. Be here tonight for the live stream at 9.